Hi, my name's Paul Sims, and I'm really excited that you're here today. We're about to go on a fascinating journey to learn about one company and what it's been able to do in the world of both technology and humanity. But before I do that, let's just quickly think about the situation we're in today. COVID-19 has obviously turned our world upside down, and I believe that we're not going to go back to the world that we once saw. There's no such thing as a new normal. In fact, I think there's going to be a series of new normals, because even once we've sorted out the health side of this pandemic, there's going to be further health issues. Of course, there's going to be economic issues and even political issues going forward. So being successful in this new world is not necessarily about having the best made business plan and being able to focus and deliver it. It's about doing that thing that Darwin said. It's about being adaptable as the species that survives, not necessarily the strongest. So one of the things we often talk about, of course, is agility. That's the way in which we can be flexible, iterative as we go about our business and ensure that we adapt to the marketplace. But there is another technology called AI, which effectively is agility far faster and far better than any human being can cope with. With the number of different data sets, with the confusion that we have in our world, a computer can actually determine what the next best course of action far better than humans can. And that's why I'm so excited that I'm here today introducing a company called OKRA, which is based in Cambridge, UK, and I believe poised to do some serious damage in our life sciences industry. What excites me about the company is not that they just have best-in-class technology, their AI is indeed the most intelligent, but also that it approaches AI in a more human way, and we all know that's absolutely essential to any digital transformation. This is a technology company that isn't just trying to replace the humans that we have within our business, it's trying to empower them. I'm really excited now to introduce Lubna, the CEO of OKRA, who's going to take us on a fascinating journey through some of the work this company's been doing and the incredible journey it still has ahead of it. Over to you.
Hi everybody. OKRA is an organization which is best-in-class artificial intelligence. What does this even mean? Cambridge and Leiden have both been the source of so many of the world's most transformative healthcare discoveries, from DNA to IVF to the Big Bang. And in Cambridge and Leiden today, leading scientists tell us that the way we understand healthcare will shortly be unrecognizable. This is where OKRA comes into the picture for you. Will you join us? Join OKRA to take you to the future. In this process, we will make everything as simple as possible for you, and we will show you how to embrace the unprecedented beneficial changes that AI will inevitably bring, not in 10 years' time, but now, today. How do we achieve this? OKRA is creating the brain of your organization, the same brain which controls the eyes and ears and operates the hands and feet through the sophisticated learning and memory functions. OKRA's Demo Day is here to show you just how we are making the future today. Jeroen, my colleague and Chief Technology Officer, will show you how we make this happen.
Thank you, Lubna. This is a great opportunity to see how we at OKRA have developed AI that can become the compass which will allow you to navigate both the old world and the new. In working with you, we will help you build a data infrastructure that puts you on a much better foundation for all of your future work. We have been able to do some revolutionary things so far with AI in life sciences. For example, we've been able to make predictions, sometimes several years out, processing data in such a way that allows us to identify highly distinctive and predictive events with accuracies above 90%. The benefits can be life-changing, and importantly, they are also measurable. We have been able to extract features in our data pipeline, using data from multiple data sources and across multiple domains. We cover prescriptions, CRM activity, demographics, clinical trials, scientific share of voice, and clinical outcomes, and we somehow make sense of what it all means. Currently, most data is not collected to train algorithms, but is collected for transactional activity and workflow purposes. You will have come across them scattered over many data sets and systems. Our pipeline synthesizes and translates scattered data sets into meaningful features so that they can be used for AI algorithms to learn from. Let me introduce you to the cutting-edge technology that OKRA utilizes to make all of the above happen for you. Many of you watching will know that not all AI is made equal. Deep AI is very different from rules-based AI. All of OKRA's products are based on deep non-metric AI, because the smartest intelligence is the one that figured it out all on its own. We don't give our AI rules, and we don't tell our AI what to do or what data to include or exclude. We simply provide the available data and the smartest brain and let it learn by itself. This allows the OKRA engine to constantly adapt and learn according to the latest data and patterns. The OKRA engine is the first chapter of the journey we are on at OKRA. Having great intelligence is not everything. In fact, the OKRA engine is just one of 3 things that make OKRA's AI different. I'll hand it over to Julia, our data engineer, to tell us more.
At OKRA, we are already making use of all sorts of data in the public and private domain, collected globally to generate evidence in real time for our clients. From environmental data, clinical prevalence, and much more. We can accurately predict the number of patients that need treatments across multiple geographies and markets. Without AI, the connection would not have been made at the speed required. But it is not made because of the computer being smart alone, but because of how we gather data at OKRA and model it correctly before feeding it to our algorithms. Can you imagine how much knowledge you have at the moment hidden in your data? Let me walk you through the construction of the AI brain we will build for you. The challenge is, when a new client begins working with us, they need to capture data from several internal sources. And invariably that data comes to us in a very messy form. At OKRA, messy is okay. Our job is to make it as neat as possible and map it to the relevant sources to get the job done. Just as the body extracts nutrients from food, we extract what we need from the data to enrich your knowledge. But we do not rely on the data you produce alone. That would be really limiting, as there is so much data produced every day that when combined with your company's data can lead to unprecedented insights. This is the next stage of your company's individual brain, the osmotic process that data undergo in OKRA's data lake. This is where all the data available are gathered together, creating a massive amount of information that our deep learning systems will use to suggest personalised predictions on all the issues your company is working on. OKRA's pipeline is the next stop. There, we make sure that all the data is prepared and organised. It's where we gather all client data, link it to the public domain and third-party data, before we enrich it, standardise it and profile it, ready for our AI models. And this is the critical reason why, as Jeroen said, working with OKRA helps to improve your infrastructure and bring it to the next level. OKRA's pipeline has a rare feature. It continues to get better and better over time. In fact, over the past year, our work on the OKRA pipeline has enabled the average setup time for each client to go from 12 to just 4 weeks, without any corresponding loss in the authenticity and uniformity of data. That means that clients can begin to see the influence of the technology quickly, which we will all know is critical for digital transformation. Let me tell you how it works. Through the pipeline, we get to a place of clean, uniform data with new capabilities that make it perfect to work with the OKRA engine. We see this as the arteries of the organisation, ensuring everything works together seamlessly. There is essentially 5 parts of the pipeline: data joining, feature extraction, data modelling, predictions, and suggestion generation. Data joining is where we combine your data with third-party datasets and use this to generate new features. One issue with data is that it's usually collected for different purposes. We have unique feature extraction algorithms that allow for detecting change and outliers more accurately. Modelling is where these features are used to train algorithms to find and interpret patterns in the data. Predictions are where the algorithms are applied to historic data and then extrapolated to determine the situation in the future. And finally, suggestion generation is where the predictions are combined with further information to provide recommended actions for individuals and explain the reasons behind those signals. However, there is one final and essential component. All this work counts for nothing unless we trust the computer enough to act on the suggestions being given. And to obtain that trust, we need something else. Jan Jitse, one of OKRA's data scientists, will tell us more.
So one of the things we're proudest of at OKRA is our hybrid explainability engine. We see this as the mouth of our organization, telling you what you need to know. What does explainable AI mean for us at OKRA? Well, let's start by thinking about intelligence. Generally, we trust human intelligence because we're familiar with ourselves and with the human brain. We trust what is familiar and what resembles us. As a result, we trust that humans can provide clever solutions. But what about artificial, non-human intelligence? How can you trust the intelligence of a computer when you do not share its inner workings of its digital brain? When you have super smart AI, like we do at OKRA, you might wonder how it came up with a particular recommendation, especially if it was different to what you were expecting. The more complicated and unexpected something is, the more effort is needed to explain it. The truth is that you will only trust that information if you can ask why and get a good answer that you fully understand, in human terms. You need the mouth to explain clearly and with authority. This ability to explain is crucial in building trust. And more than anything else, this is why OKRA's technology has been able to get much higher traction with those who use our systems compared to anyone else working in the sector. Because through being able to offer explanations we can trust, we stay connected with one another and in control. But producing great explainability takes a lot of work. It's not just about translating complex algorithms into simple language. It's also about working out the real cost for a recommendation. For example, a doctor prescribes 100 more inhalers for his asthma patients in April. Human intelligence equates this to memory. In April, there's a rise in pollen. However, our explainability engine recognizes that alongside pollen, there's actually a concerning rise in increased pollution levels from a nearby plant. Working with OKRA, you will be able to gain unique insights that you will also be able to fully understand and use to your company's benefit. Our hybrid explainability engine isn't just about talking to you. It's all about a great user interface, which makes things easy for you. Let me introduce Anna from our user experience team to tell you more.
At OKRA, we want the very best possible user experience. Why? Because as with all digital transformations, it is never just about the technology. It is about technology that offers tools for everyday people to use in an effortless way. OKRA's human-centered design includes understanding the nature of evolving multidisciplinary teams within the life science companies. Not just now, but also as teams change behavior at using our products. What is unique in OKRA's approach is how the tools grow with the teams as they become more advanced at using them. OKRA's AI works at human level without losing its capacity to offer groundbreaking solutions. As Charles Kettering once said, a problem well started is a problem half solved.
Thank you, Anna. As you can tell, OKRA is taking a unique approach when it comes to the key building blocks that underpin healthcare practice. We have a constantly improving pipeline, Arteries, where we capture data from internal and open sources, enrich it, profile it, and organize it so it's ready for our AI models. We have our deep AI engine, our heart, where our models run and generate predictions, suggestions, and reasons. It's where our insights are generated. And finally, we have our explainability engine, portal and web infrastructure, our voice, where users can access our insights and models. Together, this provides OKRA with the most robust approach on the market. We have achieved great things in the past year, and our data scientists and engineers are proud of our continued innovation as we onboard new data sets in many markets all over the world, slashing our delivery time for our new and existing clients by more than 50%. Back to you, Lubna.
I hope you have enjoyed hearing from few of our revolutionaries who are engaged in bringing about the fourth industrial age. Artificial intelligence has rightly become the science of the future because it promises that life sciences will deliver miracles, helping us finally reach our potential. We are the AI engineers for life sciences. We live and breathe the challenges of our industry every single day. We make AI simple, offering you the benefits and taking away the headache. This is not a niche consulting product that will prove one of the same, but a true opportunity to harness the magic of AI automation. Now, in the second part of this presentation, we will talk about commercial departments. Commercial has obviously undergone huge transformation in 2020, accelerating the adoption of digital transformation. The world changed almost overnight as we all embrace digital revolution and new ways of working. OKRA is here to ensure your company will keep the benefits and avoid the pitfalls of the new, rapidly evolving normal, making sure you are ready for the post-pandemic business realities of customer engagement.
With such an uncertain future, it's right that pharma is looking towards genuine AI firepower to support analytics and engagement strategies. The times we live in were considered uncertain long before the pandemic changed reality beyond all recognition. What we think we know is under continual challenge, and in this ever-evolving landscape, knowing how to really put the healthcare practitioner at the centre has always been the primary focus at OKRA. Theoretically, next best action makes a huge amount of sense. The computer maps the landscape, tells the sales rep where to go next. However, imagine that you had a boss who told you what to do, where to go, when to do it, based on arbitrary rules. You would soon hate it. So instead of just rushing headlong into using artificial intelligence to tell you what to do, let's take a behavioral approach. OKRA exists to create real change within life sciences, and we do this by working better business models and not just providing short-term shortcuts. OKRA has digitized the interaction between pharma, its healthcare providers, and the patient through this familiar approach, guiding commercial teams, reps, managers to where the opportunity is highest, where the need is greatest, in order to drive and enable informed decision-making. OKRA's system uses the very best of intelligence fused with explainability to provide balance and to empower rather than disempower the user. Transparency and explainability are critical. The more you're asked to change your behavior, the less you might trust the system rather than the other way around. In the same way that if your sat-nav gives you a strange route to your destination, your first inclination is to not trust it. And done more than once, definitely a reticence and resistance will build up. So at OKRA, we've introduced what we call a glass box promise to ensure that every recommendation, every prediction, every suggestion is fully transparent and understandable with the ability to be scrutinized. So that's how we help companies identify their priority targets and opportunities and support the dynamic omni-channel strategy. But how do we make sure the engagement itself is enhanced? Especially since the pandemic began, engagement opportunities, both physical and virtual, have become more difficult to secure, plan and implement. And therefore the need to maximize that engagement opportunity is absolutely imperative in the new world. I will now hand over to Jan, our Head of Engineering, to provide more detail around the Commercial AI Suite.
Thank you, Raz. Convincing sales and marketing professionals who are subject experts of the usefulness of a tool doesn't just require the most intelligent system, it also requires supporting evidence, highlighting all the necessary information that demonstrates why one account was prioritized over another. The OKRA.ai engine and platform were built with this in mind. Let's start with market focus, which is designed to understand anything that might affect how customer opportunities come into focus for a commercial team. The promise of market focus is to fully comprehend all events in a region that can affect product sales and enables you to drill down all the way to the root cause. The system then proceeds to give recommendations on how to act in order for available resources to be allocated. The events that market focus examines are all the complex factors that lie hidden behind the what sells conundrum that every commercial team is looking to solve. For example, the gain or loss of a competitor's market share, fluctuations in adherence or formulary status, the opening of a new hospital in your area or anywhere nearby. These events might seem minor or unrelated, but were captured by market focus. Notifications about potential areas of interest are available at various aggregation levels, for example by country, territory, BRIC or locally. And market focus allows you to traverse that hierarchy to look for the reasons behind the events that you're interested in. Let's go one level deeper and see how we can help reps. Field Focus is our product designed to cover the demands of field teams by helping prioritize accounts. Field Focus puts the power of the best AI that OKRA offers into determining the optimal target and messaging channels that the team should aim for. One of the Field Focus most useful features is that it's highly dynamic, continually updating itself in real time, matching the intensity and fast-paced style of account management roles. Field Focus achieves this by understanding projected and realized sales, determining the opportunity that can be discovered within existing accounts. It also analyzes the historic and competitor activity to determine the urgency to visit a particular account. Finally, it brings together opportunity and urgency to accurately define the overall account priority and guide rep activity, maximizing the results for the entire team. As Rassi mentioned before, with Field Focus, teams are not just presented with recommendations to be used blindly, instead they are equipped with a variety of tools, helping them plan their approach, empowering them in their search for opportunity. That could mean flagging recommendations and putting together a call plan, or it could mean looking at availability and sharing that with colleagues. Our mission is to help great entrepreneurs and free field teams from functioning like robots. With Field Focus's recommendations, your team's business creativity will flourish and you will soon leave behind the grey days of business as usual. So, how does this work in practice? Once we have established which accounts to go for, we can inspect some of the details of that account. We want to know more about the current and projected sales from that account, giving us a deep understanding of what has worked in the past. To this picture, we add information around disease prevalence and other indicators relating to the patient population, so that we have relevant content for the HCP that covers all the complex factors that determine the potential of this particular account. Next steps and action guidance flow naturally as a result of building this understanding and deep insights. You can now see that we furnish the rep with information that they would not be able to obtain easily on their own. And more than just offering an abundance of information, it's also tailored to the targets of every account. Precise, accurate and tailored information are the game-changing features of Field Focus that will transform your team's behavior. Attention, time and in general valuable resources are now no longer used for accounts that are simply the most familiar or comfortable for a rep, but put towards those that can yield the most value. Another benefit of using Field Focus is that it also uncovers accounts that were previously not considered at all, but actually carry a lot of promise and potential. Once you become a part of the OKRA experience, you will soon wish to maximize on the newfound potential. MarketSphere takes this to the next level of OKRA's accurate forecasting with the power of a data query and visualization tool that contains all the measurements and predictions that power field and market focus. MarketSphere gives an enhanced level of detail and spans a longer time range than Field Focus, making it the perfect tool for exploratory data analysis. This additional information drives understanding of the specifics of a location, which helps to understand why Field Focus recommendations were made and how market notifications are generated. This tool can show, for example, the realized and predicted sales, along with measurements relevant to the disease area, giving context to the account and additional insights. As a result, marketing and account management can work closely together. With MarketSphere, you will fully understand how all data gets combined and keeping the thread of understanding at the forefront and giving you the explainability that's typical to OKRA. With MarketSphere, you can really take a look at the bigger picture and see change coming, allowing you to prepare accordingly. Combined, these three tools are revolutionizing the healthcare industry. So, How can we deliver this at speed? Jeroen will tell you more about how we scale our commercial AI solutions.
Demonstrations and small-scale proof of concepts are a good start, but they are not going to have a demonstrable impact on your business. We have found that the key to successful adoption of AI is twofold. First, a quick rollout from start to MVP, used by actual sales teams. Secondly, ensuring that it is easy to go from that MVP to large-scale deployment. That is why we have put a lot of focus on shortening the time to having a first live system from an industry average of 4 months to 8 weeks. We have streamlined the process of rolling out to new clients. This includes onboarding and integrating your own data in the OKRA.ai engine. We are now able to roll out our system into major markets with minimal maintenance effort, the equivalent of half a day per month versus 1 week per month for traditional solutions. Time is money, and at OKRA we recognize this. To improve the quality of our AI engine, we integrate additional data sources and listen to user feedback. Because of our data-first approach, we can easily track the uplift and adherence on how decision-making is being empowered and behavior changing. OKRA is cloud native, and we have a unique architecture that enables rapid scalability from the start, not limited by procuring and maintaining our own hardware. With a modular approach, we can update and scale individual components of our solutions independently. This keeps our commercial suite solutions performant with increased usage and allows us to roll out new features and address security issues very effectively with almost zero downtime.
Thank you, Jeroen. It's very clear the positive impact OKRA is having on commercial teams in pharma. With our commercial suite, we have helped multiple clients across varied therapeutic areas such as oncology, multiple sclerosis, CV, immunology, and even diabetes. And one concrete example is when we've supported a customer to bring together multiple complex data sources to dynamically surface opportunities, which has led to a sales uplift of over 9 million per year in additional revenue opportunities. The user adoption of our commercial AI suite has been exponential. After 3 months, 71% of all engagements across our clients' users followed the highest opportunity, ensuring that resources could be deployed exactly where there is a need. And during COVID, for example, when patients had been piling up on hospital waiting lists or not even seeking treatment, we've been able to score the opportunity and priority of accounts dynamically, highlight to our customers when an increase in sales, for example, was due to hospitals stockpiling medication and not the initiation of new patients, and therefore empowering our clients to engage very differently based on HCP needs due to the amount of data and the variety of data we're now able to digest.
To use our commercial suite of products, we only need to connect our AI brain to your CRM and third-party sales data. Scalability and automation in the new post-pandemic age is data-driven and requires no brand plan or intellectual property from your own internal teams. As our pipeline is 80% automated, and we only have to customize the connection to your own data, which only requires 20% of our effort to build your commercial digital brain. That is 4 weeks to get you ready for the 4.0 post-COVID world. 2020 saw OKRA achieve phenomenal growth. We are now working with multiple pharmaceutical companies and brands across our suite of commercial AI solutions. We have empowered clients to build their commercial AI brain to help navigate the re-entry of sales and marketing teams post-COVID. We have supported others with new hybrid engagement models, with evidence-based omni-channel recommendations, and much more. We've secured agreements with leading organizations across oncology, immunology, MS, diabetes, and cardiovascular, to name just a few. This is not slowing down as we extend our global reach across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. It is no longer enough to build a human workforce without an AI brain that learns from all the successes and experiences in the past and helps your team to navigate the uncertain world of today. Now Now I'd like to talk about medical affairs. Medical affairs have rightly become a core focus for a very important reason. That reason is authenticity. But the hard truth is that whilst medical affairs have grown in importance, many companies have struggled to adapt to the changing landscape. COVID has tested the system like never before, adding layers of complexity and urgency to existing systems. Finally, a lot of companies are pursuing brand new therapy areas and experimental treatments. This is very exciting, but it requires a whole new set of knowledge, relationships, and influence to be developed. This all makes the life of a medical affairs professional quite difficult. It is no surprise they need all the help they can get, and AI can cut through the noise of endless information available. Using MedCompass, the smartest AI available, you can now communicate at tremendous speed with accuracy and using the guidance OKRA's unique insights can offer. Medical affairs is yet another area of your company's operations that OKRA can radically transform. Jeroen will explain how we do this.
Today, medical or disease leads are somehow expected to make sense of the approximately 10,000 to 15,000 conversations per month on granular, molecule-specific and patient-specific data to help inform medical strategy. The volume of insights is astronomical, almost impossible to make sense of. At OKRA, we have developed MedCompass to find the key topics within this mountain of information. Distinguishing these signals from the noise is a huge challenge, which we have overcome using the OKRA engine and expert knowledge of medical ontologies, an AI system designed to future-proof medical affairs. With MedCompass, we allow your medical teams to find the needle in the haystack of growing knowledge, providing key scientific insights and advances, always up to date. We empower medical affairs to establish long-term, strong relationships with its stakeholders. MedCompass enables you to move beyond reactive actions and scientific questions to proactive engagements driven by evidence. We leverage data to change behavior for every therapeutic area, to collect better information and to make better decisions. We provide insights about key topics and opportunities, not only based on historical engagements and scientific share of voice, but also based on ongoing competitive engagement. We need to use AI systems to bring true opportunities, to give meaning to every single interaction, so that efforts are turned into value. Success is no longer a matter of chance, but the result of OKRA's precision insights.
So we want computers to absorb a huge amount of information. But how do computers understand when humans use different languages to say the same thing? OKRA has revolutionized information processing. Imagine your desk being filled with hundreds or even thousands of papers. No categories, no order, just one big pile of chaos. And what's worse, the pile is getting higher and higher each day. But you know that somewhere hidden in this pile of paper is some crucial information. That needle in the haystack that will allow you to make the right decision. If only you could spot it. How would you go about finding it? The answer is clear. You would need to start organizing your paperwork. You would probably start by getting rid of all papers that you do not need. Outdated papers, duplicate papers. They can go right into the bin. From the remaining relevant ones, you would try making smaller, meaningful piles, grouping them based on date, location, topic, or any other category that you might find useful. Maybe you would use some color coding with sticky tags to easily identify papers with certain characteristics within your small, meaningful piles, or sort them in order of importance. You might even use your marker to highlight the most important information within a single paper. Now, with all the papers nicely organized, it's much easier for you to obtain a global overview and to find that one piece of crucial information when you need it. Okay, that works for 100 papers on your desk. Now imagine that you want to do it with 1,000,000 papers. MedCompass helps you in sorting, categorizing, and labeling your digital paperwork. Think about scientific articles, conference abstracts, guidelines, social media posts, medical reports, or notes on HCP and KOL engagements. MedCompass uses the state-of-the-art natural language processing technologies to do the organizing for you. Let me highlight some of the most important aspects of our NLP technologies. First, we add sticky notes to your digital papers by applying medical concept tagging. Our NLP pipeline reads the texts and detects all mentions of diseases, drugs, therapies, and other medical concepts. Are you looking for all papers about COVID-19 or about immunotherapy? No problem. MedCompass can easily retrieve them for you based on their sticky tags. Second, we organize your papers into smaller, meaningful piles using a technique referred to as topic modeling. In other words, MedCompass automatically detects the common themes discussed in the papers and group them together based on their topic. We label each pile of papers with a short description of their topic so that you can easily obtain a global overview and decide which papers you need to further investigate. Moreover, each pile of paper comes with a summary, providing you with the most important text snippets within this collection and information on topic trends and overall sentiment. Raz will explain some of the great benefits of using AI intelligence to move from an information overload of chaos to the power of information universe that OKRA can create for you.
With MedCompass, we are processing thousands of conversations captured by our clients and turning them into actions that can be taken by the medical teams. The information we handle is unstructured, it's complex in nature, but not a single insight is missed. Covering over 50 markets from North America to Europe, all the way through to Asia, every data, every fact, every observation, every interaction is captured. Its importance is understood and harnessed to drive an action. And with a prediction accuracy of over 92%, the most important trends, clinical needs, concerns and requests from each market is used to drive an action. Therapeutic area leads, disease area specialists and medical scientific liaisons are empowered to make decisions in a fraction of the time. More importantly, every action taken by teams can be followed up and the impact further analysed and used for future predictions. The entire process has been fully automated, resulting in over a 95% reduction in the volume of insights for clients, going from hundreds and thousands of raw insights down to the most important signals and topics that allow individuals to focus on the most important actions that will actually drive an outcome and drive impact.
Thank you, Rasim. At OKRA, we aspire to create a future where medical affairs and MSLs are supported by predicting our clinician scientific needs ahead of time and proactively guiding MSLs' activity in the delivery of key personalized information to satisfy expert needs where it matters most. Knowing what you need to know is key to building relationships and moving forward at pace. The value that MedCompass brings to the table is giving the right information at the right time to the MSLs in order to drive the planned engagement strategy while also ensuring that the right strategy has been chosen. MedCompass is how we turn your insights into actions with no hit and miss success, but with the speed, laser focus and precision that AI delivers. What price would you be willing to pay for a treatment that can save your life? Would you still want to pay the same price if the treatment is not life-saving, but would significantly improve your quality of life? The best price is one that rewards the outcome for the patient, based on the outcome of the treatment and the historical price paid for similar treatments. The right price has to also be the sustainable price. But when there are so many life variables in the reimbursement equation and the world is changing fast, determining that fair price can be a really difficult puzzle to solve. At OKRA, we have launched a product called Value Scope that is designed to solve the complex equation of getting the price right for treatments. It's a product that pharmaceutical companies can use to establish the price of their new treatments years in advance. How is this possible? A combination of data on commercial need, payer tolerance, regulatory and pricing submissions, and clinical trial results are gathered. And once the data is fed to the machine, in few seconds, prediction is offered. What used to take several months for professionals who had to crunch hundreds of data sources on everything from clinical trial data to regulatory and pricing submissions with much less accurate results is now literally achieved in the blink of an eye. It already sounds too good to be true, but it is true and it gets even better. Let me hand over to Yahya, who can show you how it all works in practice.
The aim of ValueScope is to predict the fair price for innovative treatments by harnessing AI for regulatory and pricing submissions to HTAs and payers across Europe and the world, using data from the public and private domain. At OKRA, we are unique in our ability to leverage a multitude of machine learning and natural language processing techniques to make sure you are fully prepared when it comes to succeeding in complex pricing processes. This is the first time a product like this has been created, and it can really simplify tasks, leaving room for other pursuits, increasing productivity like never before. ValueScope allows a pharma professional to understand the value of a drug years prior to its launch by predicting the outcome of HTA benefit assessment and pricing with unprecedented accuracy. We show you the right route through drug development data, evidence generation, market access, and ultimately pricing negotiations. And we can do this while fitting into existing workflows without having to upset your established processes. With ValueScope, you can evaluate custom drugs based on target product profiles at different stages of development to make predictions on the benefit assessment and pricing outcomes. This process is as simple as selecting the index drug of your choosing, selecting the relevant therapeutic area and active comparator therapy. Before then, defining the target patient population. All other information needed for the predictions are then automatically fetched from our database, and the predictions are made quickly with maximum accuracy. For pricing predictions in particular, users can query the system using different benefit assessment outcomes to understand the value of your drug under different scenarios. The OKRA system is able to do this by ingesting and learning from multiple data sources and infusing AI into this data. With specialist algorithms and deep learning, the system is able to generate benefit outcomes and pricing predictions with a proven accuracy greater than 90%, validated using the biggest market in Europe, Germany. My colleague Alessio can explain how we were able to create such powerful accuracy.
Thank you, Yaya. Here at OKRA, we can predict the price of a drug 2 to 8 years in advance with really high accuracy. But how do we achieve that? Well, to achieve this, the system needs to first understand the underlying patterns in the data, and then to learn the relationship between what comes in and what comes out, so that it is able to train itself and improve each time it operates. And this is why good quality machine learning typically thrives on big data. Actually, the more data you have, the better the system learns. And we look forward to the time when big data will be available in health and care too. However, for the moment, and in particular in this area of pharma, data volumes are typically very small. Really, we only have a few hundred historical submissions to draw data from, while ideally we would like to have thousands or tens of thousands. So, how do we accomplish high accuracy with little data? Well, the trick is to think outside the box, or in this case, to think beyond the data. But what does it mean? Well, it means that we need to understand what made the data become data in the first place. In a nutshell, we study how patterns in the data translate into outcomes, and then aim to understand the why and how behind these outcomes. When applied to life sciences, this philosophy means that even if we have only a few hundred historical submissions, There are actually 60,000 clinical trial studies feeding into these submissions and a history of around 400,000 pricing records. So if we look carefully, we have in the end generated for each single data point a much larger pool of knowledge from which to draw from and find the patterns that we are looking for. And it doesn't end here. History is always in the making, and new streams of data are continuously generated. And this is an opportunity we can't miss. ValueScope looks at new data on a permanent basis, adding to what it already has and constantly improving over time. And that's how ValueScope's assessment literally change on a daily basis as the world evolves and take into account up-to-the-minute event, whether it's a breakthrough drug release or a health and care reform. In conclusion, ValueScope was built by humans for humans. As always, our secret is to combine technology with humanity, harnessing the power of AI to better serve our goals as humans. And thanks to AI, we can amplify the use of human logic to better serve everyone's goals, whether it's our client or the patients they aim to serve. Now let's hear from Sander, who handled the integration of all the data sources that made ValueScope such a powerful system.
Let me tell you something about how ValueScope integrates complex data. Data comes in many diverse data sets, ranging from clinical trial reports to drug assessments in various natural languages. Each dataset brings its own unique features, and every time a new dataset is added, it creates an exponentially increasing number of potential connections with the existing data. For example, you have different names between different datasets. Paracetamol is a drug we all recognize. Yet did you know that this ubiquitous drug is referred to globally by over 50 different names? Clearly, a naive approach to integrating data would quickly lead to a combinatorial explosion in data complexity, and the whole system would grind to a halt. One great solution that overcomes these ambiguities in terminology is through the use of state-of-the-art machine translation, and by inferring relationships between datasets. We build a map for each medical concept, such as paracetamol, and derive each of its relationships to another concept or source. This dual approach allows us to link free-form text, such as the tens of thousands of clinical trial reports and drug assessments, into structured concepts. This is just one way in which we ensure the machine can understand our data. OKRA connects the dots between data and the future, which in turn allows ValueScope to wholly transform payer negotiations, which brings us back to Yahya.
ValueScope has learned from thousands of drugs across the world. It empowers users to understand the minimum target profiles you need in order to achieve a desired price and maximize drug benefit assessment. You can even create fictitious drug scenarios, open your imagination, and assess the potential market performance of potential blockbuster molecules. As we always aim to inform the users of our systems, ValueScope provides transparent and queryable reasons to shed light on causative and correlated factors behind the reimbursement decisions. ValueScope is a one-of-its-kind system that has the ability to optimize clinical trial protocol design so that you know what development decisions you need to make much earlier, and which inclusion and exclusion criteria will lead to the best outcomes. ValueScope is built to be the guiding light of health, economic, and outcome research, pricing and reimbursement professionals to navigate drug development, building evidence, market access, and pricing negotiations.
We are very excited about the revolutionary launch of ValueScope. ValueScope provides the necessary intelligence that executives require when making critical decisions about future investments in new molecules, ensuring that valuable resources are optimized towards delivering results. We believe that value scope will prove to be the new norm in setting drug prices and in helping identifying future blockbusters. And we are very proud to lead this fantastic transformation today. It is a new era, and with the help of cutting-edge AI technology, we at OKRA are already helping companies reimagine market access departments across the world. Our mission is to turn analysts into artists, freeing up their time in order to focus on what really matters. Value Scope already showed 86% accuracy when predicting the benefits outcome and 93% accuracy on predicting the negotiated price for new treatments. Imagine, in 20 years' time, setting a drug price without AI and Value Scope will look as archaic as working as an accountant with only a pen and paper. We welcome you to the revolution. We hope you enjoyed your journey through the OKRA brain. Before we go, let me close with explaining the OKRA philosophy that underpins all that we offer and shows why AI is the way forward for the health sector in an increasingly complex and uncertain future. Let's look at our lives today. We already deal with uncertainty every single day. Every time we travel by car, we eat food at a cafe, go to work, we accept there is a risk that things do not go as planned. But the risk is small. You feel in control. And so you go right ahead. If you didn't, you'd never leave home. We need to tolerate uncertainty in order to thrive. Just imagine, though, if you were given a tool, a guide that could help you live safely in our unpredictable world, a tool that makes sure that when you took large risks, when you ventured into the unknown, you would still be okay. What could you do then? One way of thinking about AI is exactly that, a tool that allows us to take more risk. Nothing is ever certain. Even with the smartest AI, or perhaps it is possible to have computers help to reduce our risks and empower us to take more risk. To make sure that in uncertain times, like the world post-pandemic, we are still able to live our lives, be proactive, be bold, and to never be ruled by fear. Used in the right way, AI is a tool that enhances our strengths, our instincts, and mitigates our fears. Used in the right way, as we will see today, AI can empower humans like never before.